Yeah, that's right. I see the chat. I see y'all rocking. I see y'all coming. Hit that like button as you enter the building. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Show your love. Show your support. You know what I'm saying? This that dope soul. This that new thing. Nobody don't know about it.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to Stats and Storylines, the New York Knicks weekly preview show. It's been a minute, I know. But this is where we talk about our upcoming opponents. We go over the storylines pertaining to them over the past week or so. We'll go over some stat stuff so that we'll get a sense of who the Knicks is actually going up against, what's their style of play. We'll talk about matchups. I'm joined by Geoff Klafter from the Happily Ever Klafter Daily Sports Blog, Ajay, the villain, Hollywood, Green Lantern, hit the like button, and all of that good stuff. But we're going to start off before we even get into Washington, Denver, Detroit. Who else do we have? Boston. All really good teams, except for Washington, but we still got to watch out for them as well. We're just going to spend just a little bit of time on our New York Knicks, just kind of what the state of the Knicks is right now. Hold on. And just what have you seen from the Knicks? What has stood out for you over this winning streak that you are encouraged by or concerned? I mean, you might be concerned. I don't know. Ajay, we'll start with you because me and Geoff been kind of chopping it up.
Salute to you, Queen and Geoff. Salute to the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button. And I guess people are starting to get used to this new show, right, Queen? Because it's fairly new. It's not like we've been doing this for a couple of years. So make sure you guys, subscribe, like, and share this with your social media family. That way they could join the party.
Absolutely.
Well, the Knicks. I mean, lately, we obviously on a 6-game winning streak. I think we have, along with another team, have the longest winning streak in the league. I can't remember which other team right now, but there are two teams that are on a 6-game winning streak. Listen, Charlotte. That's exactly right. It's encouraging. There's a lot of encouraging things that I see in the team. Two of them I want to kind of emphasize is the effort on defense. Okay, the effort on defense it is here. You see the non-defenders, the guys who typically are not good defenders. They're still not good or great defenders, but they put in the effort. They're playing the passing lane. They swiping the ball. They doing the little things that could make up for the either lack of size or lack of mobility. Depending on which player you're looking at, right? Obviously, it's been a good stretch, whether we playing good teams, bad teams, mediocre, great teams. It doesn't matter. It's the NBA. Any team could beat up any team on any given night. So we've been able to manage to win 6 in a row. And aside from Philly, like all the other games were pretty convincing wins, if I remember correctly. But one thing that's really, really that I really, really want to bring to your attention is the fact that even when our best players are not having a good game, we find ways to win. Okay, Jalen Brunson had he believe it or not, he didn't score a lot, but he had a good game yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, how often do you say that Jalen Brunson? He had 13 assists. He was grabbing rebounds. He was distributing the ball. He was doing a lot of little things, not putting the ball in the hole, but contributing a lot. He did a lot to help us win that game yesterday. Okay. And the fact that, he was getting double teamed and, his gravity, like pulling players and allowing other players to be open, that counts for a lot. Finding, some of these assists, he found Landry Shamet like in real awkward ways yesterday, man. And, Shamet, he was hitting him, he was on point with him. Same thing with Karl-Anthony Towns, right? Yeah, he's had a stretch where he's not shooting the ball well. He's not doing anything, in terms of scoring the ball. He's not great. We know what he's capable of. He has not been able, or he has not been performing to his potentials offensively. But very important. And his defense hasn't been great. very important with him, he's been staying out of foul trouble. That alone counts for like just him being on the floor.
Right.
Kind of, balances the team because you still have to check him, right? Because he's still a great shooter, he's still a great scorer. You still have to pay attention to him. So him being on the floor already just makes a big difference. So if you're available and you're able to play, if you call Anthony Towns, you're going to make a difference in the game. Okay, so and those are two of the major. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff too that, of course, we'll talk about throughout the show.
Yeah, and to your point, over the last 10 games, the Knicks are second in defensive rating. Yeah. Geoff, anything over the either the last 10 games or this 6-game winning streak that you want to point out or piggyback off of Ajay?
A little bit of both, actually. I think one of the things that's impressed me is that I think it was Brandon O'Connor was the one who they credited with a change in scheme, where instead of forcing things to the middle and help, they're forcing things to the baseline, and where OG and McCall are a lot more effective. And I think that's one of the reasons behind our uptick on the defensive end during this recent hot stretch. And I'm curious to see if that's something that is temporary until the other teams see it for a while and then make the adjustment to the adjustment, or if it's something that's sustainable that we're going to be able to use as kind of a crutch or a linchpin from this point moving forward. Because if that is the case, that we're playing lights out defense. I mean, outstanding, like top level defense is the best we've played in a long time, actually. And so, and a lot of it without our quote unquote best perimeter defender in Deuce McBride. So, I mean, I tend to believe that, but not everybody does. So, in case Wiz is out there, I don't want him to take away the light from the show. So from that perspective, I'm encouraged, but I also want to say that with a word of warning, and that's this: we've seen this Knick team have better stretches than the one we're on right now. Like 6 in a row was really good. Not going to complain about that, but we saw the Knicks have the January to remember after the OG Anunoby trade. I don't think we lost a game for a month, it felt like. And then, obviously there were circumstances, the injury to Randall, really, cratered that success in a lot of ways, but I think that we still have a few things to figure out as a team. As the defense has been rising, the offense has kind of been cratering. And so I think even in the Laker game, we only scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. And we still tend to have these
droughts,
segments of the game where we're just disjointed on the offensive end, and the process isn't very good. And we see that a lot. Tyler Kolek in there without Brunson, Clarkson, and Deuce seems to fix some of those issues off the bench. But when the starters are in the game, even though the starters' net rating has been excellent this last 6 games, they don't seem to have as big an impact on the offensive end as one would expect. Part of that, I guess, is Towns shooting not being what it is, what it has been in the past, but I think it's a lot more than that. And so I don't know. I'm really excited about how we're playing right now, but I'm not certain that all of our issues are solved if we're truly going to be competing for a championship. And so I'm curious to see how we do this week, with that Washington game being the first step on that journey, and an important one.
And that leads me into the next question. Before we get into the individual matchups, what do you want to see overall from this team over the next 4 games? Again, Washington, then Denver, then Detroit, then Boston. It sounds to me, Geoff, that you want to see whether or not whether the defense is for real, or just get a better sense of the team as a whole over the next 4 games.
whether the defense is for real and how the offense is able to respond. Like, I don't want to jump the gun for each individual matchup, but I think especially when you're talk about going into Detroit and Boston, those are two of the better defensive teams in the league that are very good at taking away number one and number two options. And like against the Lakers, we were very fortunate in that Landry Shamet had a breakout game, and Josh Hart hit 3 out of 4 from 3, and OG Anunoby for the last 4 games has been averaging 22 and a half a game or something crazy good like that. And so, we were able to weather the storm, if you will. But I'm curious, Detroit is long and athletic, and they're going to try and take Brunson out of the game in a very similar way to what the Lakers did. And so is he going to be able to continue his role as the distributor cap, as I dubbed him, for his 13 assist, one turnover performance? I'm hopeful that we see a lot of that, and then let him play off the ball as much as possible and give him opportunities to get his looks as catch and shoot opportunities, where all he has to do is be outside and knock down threes and then, or work with mismatches where he's on somebody who can't guard him in the paint and just get to his shot that way, as opposed to everything being on him, pounding the ball and those sorts of things, which he didn't do against LA.
And to your point, to add to your point, if he does become that distributor, because he's not forcing it and he's taking what they give him, and to Ajay's point, he has, really good gravity, will the rest of the team hit the shots? Because that's the thing, as Ajay often points out, it takes 2 to get an assist. So if they're zoning up or they're playing him tough and he can't really get to his spots and be the scorer that he usually is, but through his gravity, he's able to create shots. Is Shamet hitting shots, this week? Is OG and Bridges, are they hitting the shots that they're going to get? They all did a really good job. I'm not sure what Bridges' efficiency was, but Hart, Shamet, and OG did a really good job playing off of Brunson. That has to continue again if they're going to take Brunson away.
And not just continue, Queen. That's actually a critical part of the winning. It's like these other guys, taking advantage, because that is part of the advantage of having somebody like Jalen Brunson or even Cat. It's like, when these guys get double teamed, it opens somebody up. So that open person, of course, they have to find that person. Like Clyde always said, he always says that you can't move as fast as the ball. So if you pass the ball to find the open man, you're going to get an open shot. These guys just have to hit the shots, So, and that's actually critical in winning those games. So,
yeah.
Especially when you come across a team like Detroit Pistons. They're very athletic. They're very fast. So they'll try to cover. They'll try to make up a lot of grounds. But you can't be as fast as the ball, right? So if they play it right, they're going to get those open shots, man. They have to hit them. They have to hit those shots.
Yeah. I do think you're right. They can't move as fast as the ball. But the deeper you can get in the key, because recovery time for some of these athletic teams, like they're still able to, recover, the deeper you can get into the key and put pressure on the rim and allow them to really, really collapse, you get that extra second or so that you may, need to get the shot off, particularly against an athletic team like Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else we want to see from them over the next four games before we get into the individual matchups, starting with Washington?
One other thing that just popped in my mind is more guard-on-guard screens. I think that's a very effective offensive weapon for us, and not just bringing Towns or Robinson or whoever the case may be and just kind of inviting a hard double or a blitz on Brunson, but doing it with another guard where you can blitz, but then we're going to have the ball in somebody's hands who's going to be able to take immediate advantage off the bounce in those situations. So I think that we've been effective with that, especially in the last couple of games that I've noticed. So I really want to see a lot more of that, because I think it's an effective way to counter the way teams are attacking us on the defensive end.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Kim. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
No, go ahead.
say shout outs. So I was gonna say one thing I want to see is Mikal Bridges is part of the team until he's not, right? Right now he's part of the team, and he's a very pivotal part of the team. The past couple of games, I think, so he had a breakout game, like a 30-point game, right? And then you could see there's a little bit more aggressiveness. He needs to be even more aggressive, right? You look at OG Anunoby. OG could have the crappiest shooting game, but there's a lot of activities, right? He's trying. He's shooting the ball. It's not going in, but if he's open, he's taking the shots. He's going for it. And, you're a professional ball player. Eventually, you break out of that slump, right? And the way to break out is by being aggressive, not by trying to shy away from contact or trying to shy away from, you just got to go for it, man. Go for yours, because you're going to break out of that slump. So we really need, I guess Mikal at this point is like the fourth option or third option, depending on the night. But we really need him to make up for that by trying to be a second option. And, you're going to fall somewhere in the middle. But you have to be aggressive, when you get the ball. Don't just pass on shots. And I see them, they do pass on a lot of shots. They doing that less and less. Even Josh Hart, he's doing that less. And that's why he's scoring a little more. Hey, listen, take the shot. If you're open, take it. So, and I need those guys to be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive, on offense, because name of the game, man, whoever scores the most point wins the game, right? At the end of the day, not whoever passed the ball more, whoever scores more, that's who wins the game. So,
yeah. Shout out to Kim Doc, who says everybody looks crazy in their winter clothing and blankets.
Cozy, not crazy.
Cozy,
not crazy.
Cozy.
I look crazy too.
No, cozy.
And she said, I'll be at the Washington game. Can't wait. Yeah, make sure you nice and cozy too. And
well, she shouldn't have said that, because now we know if they lose, it's on her.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that in new MSG? It's cold. Whether you in MSG or Washington, it's going to be cold. Make sure you you stay warm, Kim.
I was in VA over the weekend, man. Listen, ice all over the place. Listen, we didn't do a great job as cleaning up the snow here in New York, but down there it's even worse. Like, they don't clean out the parking lots.
Right.
You go to Walmart, it's like chunks of ice all over the place.
Yeah. I was driving back here in Georgia. You could see the ice on the road. I was going like 10 miles an hour. I'm like, there ain't no salt. Like nothing. You're just on your own trying to make, trying to make it home. Terrible. Nick Nation said there was a meme or something AI generated in Georgia with a truck that the truck that dispenses the salt. Mm-hmm. It was dispensing lemon pepper seasoning. That is, I didn't see it. I said, that is funny. That is funny. All right. Let's get to Washington. We played them Tuesday, 7 p.m. in Washington. Let me know if I made any mistakes. I think it is in Washington. The Washington Wizards are just not a good team. 29th in offensive and defensive rating over the last 10 games, 14th in the Eastern Conference. They do have 3 players going to the Rising Star game, 2 playing on the sophomore side, 1 in the rookie. Trae Young has yet to suit up, so he's not playing for them. Middleton actually does play for them, actually. I think he's playing like 14 minutes a game. 24 minutes a game, 10 points, shooting 43.3% overall, just 43.3% overall, and just 32.6% from the 3-point line. 4 rebounds, 3.3 assists. They're not a good team. I'm hoping the Knicks don't overlook them, right? Because they have 3 really good games on the other side of Washington. Washington is the first game of of a back-to-back. Anything about, let me see, who's in the right? So Keyshawn George and Alex Sarr will be playing on the sophomore side, and their rookie Trey Johnson will be playing, um, for the rookies. They're gonna hustle. They're gonna play hard. They're just not a good team. Anything about the Wizards that this matchup, I should say, that you're looking forward to? Geoff had to bring me back because I wasn't even talking about the Wizards earlier. I was talking about the other three games. He had to bring me back and like, listen, this is an NBA team. We can't overlook them. Ajay?
And I agree with him, Queen. That's really the biggest thing with the Wizards is that don't go in there, especially the Knicks go in there. Usually when we play there, it's the crowd, and I think last season I went to a game over there in DC. I would say 70% of the crowd is Knicks fans. Knicks gear all over the place. You couldn't even find, it was very hard to find people rocking the Wizards jersey. But you go in a situation where you're comfortable, where the team is not playing well, and you're gonna go in there and let your guards down. We can't let that happen. Those are the games you have to win. Especially you're trying to put yourself in position. People they're gonna start playoff positioning, right? You're right there. You're in Boston and right there. You're pretty far from Detroit. I don't think anybody's gonna catch Detroit at this point, unless they have like a one of those losing streaks that we had a couple of weeks ago. But at this point, man, you got to battle to stay, to at least be the second team in the conference. So these are the games you have to win, and you can't go in there taking anything for granted. You have to go in and win, and like we went to Brooklyn. We went to Brooklyn. We really took it out on them. Go in DC and do the same thing, man.
Yeah, they were demolished by the Lakers. I think it was Friday. And then they responded and beat a Sacramento team who's not a good team either, but better than Washington. And they responded by coming out and beating them. And in that fourth quarter, Sacramento had their starters out there, and they were playing some two-way players. And they won that game. So I say all of that to say this is not a team that's demoralized, that's going to come out and just lay down for the Knicks. The Knicks are going to have to beat them. Anything you want to add, Geoff?
Well, two things. First of all, Deuce and Mitt both going to be out, so I think that helps out the Wizards some. So we'll not that should affect the outcome of the game. If the Knicks defend like we've been defending, I fully expect that this should be a comfortable win. We need to lock it down on the defensive end, and I'd like to see. This is a team we should be able to hold under 100 points if we play the way that we've been playing of late, and so that's really the indicator that I want to look at. And the other thing is we've got the Denver Chicken Nuggets at the Garden the day after, so I want to be. I hopefully we run this out and get to get to play the scrubs for most of the fourth quarter and be better rested for the Denver game, because that's a team we normally match up well with in the past few years. But Joker is back and they'll be ready to roll. And so, you don't want to get ahead of yourself, but if we could, not have to tax ourselves and go to triple overtime to win this game, that would be certainly preferred.
Yeah. Just to get a statistical, actually, let me just go here first. All right. So 13-35 on the season, 14th in the Eastern Conference. The last 10 I have wrong, so just ignore that. 29th in offensive rating, 29th in defensive rating, 30th in net rating. Just really not a good team. Defensive rating 22nd, and other than opponent points per game, Opponent field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, points in the paint. They're just really not. They're just really not great. Opponent field. I mean, fast break points, second points, points off turnovers. They're a bit better, and then offensively, just really, not a good team. Second chance points, they're pretty good. But so are the Knicks in terms of second chance defense. So I think we'll be okay there. The point is, the Knicks should not have any problems putting this team away. That's
early.
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 Yeah. And I think if they struggle, well, let me ask you, if they struggle a little bit with Washington, would you consider that a mental thing, or would you think that maybe they're not as good as we thought they were?
You talking about the
I would
Knicks?
consider it mental.
Me too.
I would say they're probably already focusing on the Denver game, so they kind of overlooking that one.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on. We may have even spent too much time there. Wednesday,
Respect the opponent, Queen.
at MSG, the Joker has missed 17 games. He's been back for the last 2. Their starters have missed 100 games, 100 plus games due to injury since the start of the season. 17 for the Joker, 26 for Gordon, 21 for Cam Johnson, 35 for Christian Brown. Murray has missed 6 as well. But in their absence, Peyton Watson, Jalen Pickett, Zeke Naji, I think his name is, have stepped up for them. So they've kind of like grown their bench, kind of grown their young players who were pressed into young players due to Nick, new coach, and Mike Brown. Young players getting time due to new coach and injuries, but it did remind me of Mike Brown and Valanciunas, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is backing up the Joker in Denver.
Yes,
Tim Hardaway is with them. He's shooting 40.8% from the 3-point line. Detroit might be having some regrets, right, that they let that shooting out the door. And he's third. He's third in minutes. So, just thoughts overall on Denver before we take a look at them statistically.
Well, Hardaway will probably double that 40% when it comes to the MSG. That's just how those things tend to go, right? Denver's a dangerous team. I mean, when Murray and Joker are together, they are certainly elite, and so you certainly can't take them for granted. Hopefully that the road they show a little road weariness and we're able to equalize, but I think that's going to be a really interesting battle, and I think it's going to be a tough test for us. But the good news is the Cat tends to get up for those games against Joker and defend really well. So if that be the case, that would definitely be a benefit to us.
Yeah, for sure. Ajay, anything to add on the Knicks?
With Denver, I mean, listen, yeah. So again, if you have Jokic on your team, you're gonna be dangerous. And he has, not just Jokic, but you have Murray on your team. He's I mean, he could carry a team by himself. We've seen him do that in the playoffs. Remember a few years back when him and Spider was going at it, man. I still remember that game when they both scored 40 points going against each other, 40 plus points. So this is a guy who can carry a team. Listen, I saw, was it yesterday? Yeah, I think yesterday I was watching them play OKC. And listen, obviously OKC is a much better team, but these guys, they can still play. I mean, they were in the ball game. I think they lost by like 10 points or whatever, but this is still a pretty good team that we really have to be careful with. And we have to pay attention when we play that team, because this is a team, when you play them, your IQ, your intelligence have to be on point, not just running and gunning, because they have guys, they're not a super athletic team, but they play very smart. And they got guys who play very smart. So you have to be on point on defense. You have to know where you need to be. You have to, don't get caught out of position because they can't score.
for sure.
Bruce Brown is back with them too, I think, also, because I saw, yeah,
He is.
yeah.
Yeah. These stats are over their last 10. First in offensive rating, 22nd in defensive rating, 8th in net rating, 24th in rebound percentage. I mean, you guys see it. But what I wanted to point out with the 22nd in defensive rating, over their last 10 games, they're 9th in opponent field goal percentage and 2nd in opponent three-point percentage. So even though the overall defensive rating is low, teams have not been, shooting great against them. And as a matter of fact, other than Washington, if you look at all of the Knicks opponents, opponent field goal percentage, opponent three-point percentage, including the Knicks, all in the top 10. So I think this week we might be in for some really low scoring games. But my point is, I wouldn't sleep on Denver. Number one offense over the last 10 games, and in terms of opponent field goal percentage, they've been pretty good, and they're going to be up to play the Knicks. For sure. And I just want to see what they've been doing offensively. Not really shooting the ball. 9th in offensive rating, 26 in points per game. Again, over the last 10. Field goal percentage, 16th. 3-point percentage, they've 3rd. So they shoot the 3. They get to the line a lot. 6th in the league and over the past 10 games in terms of getting to the line.
Did we sweep him last season?
I don't remember.
No.
I don't remember. I think this is going to be a good test. Geoff and I was talking earlier today about how these teams present different challenges, and we really get a chance to see the Knicks defense against the teams this week. Denver, they have a center as a hub. It's going to be interesting to see how the Knicks play that. Then we're going to get to Detroit. We play them. They're a team that really likes to play in the paint. I think they're number 2 in points in the paint. That's going to present a different challenge. And then you have Boston, which is still, without Tatum, a really good 3-point shooting team who over the last 10 games have been taking more 3-pointers than the Knicks. So we're gonna have a really good opportunity to see this Knicks defense against different teams. Anything else about?
I just have one more comment, and that's this: a healthy Nuggets team is probably better than both Detroit and Boston, in my opinion. I mean, if you look at what they've done, even with all that rash of injuries, they're still right there, right in between Boston and our record and the Pistons. So, if they've got all of their Pistons firing, all their guns ready to go, they're probably the best team that we're going to play this week. And we'll have short rest. So we have been very good at home. So hopefully that home crowd can be an advantage for us again.
Yeah. The Knicks will have to defend without fouling, right? You definitely don't want to send them, you don't want to send them to the line. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to this. Will Mike Brown have Cat play the Joker? Historically, he's done well against him. Will he put him on him? Will he put him on someone else and put OG on the Joker? It's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is with that.
The more we can play him one-on-one and straight up, though, the better off we're going to be. What we know about the Knicks is even if that means that he kind of goes off, where we always get in trouble is with over doubling and rotations. And so I'd almost prefer just to play him straight up. And Robinson is supposed to play that half of the back-to-back. So if we can play him as in single coverage as much as possible and limit the amount of rotations and double teams, I think the better off we're going to be in that game, even if that means Joker puts up a big number.
Yeah. It's important that Cat stays out of foul trouble as well. You're going to need him to, whether he's scoring or not, the gravity, the spacing, all of those things we need. So it's going to be important that he stays on the court as well. And it's going to be important that OG stays aggressive, Hart hits his shots, Yeah. The wings, in my opinion, and you can add Josh Hart to that, but I think more so OG and Bridges are just swing factors for us from game to game in terms of how they play on the offensive. And we already know what to expect defensively. They're not always up to par, but for the most part, we know what to expect. But when they're clicking offensively, the Knicks are a hard team to guard and beat. All right. Anything else? Oh, we are just moving right along here. All right. Let's get to Detroit, who we play Friday, 7:30 p.m. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren were named All-Stars. They are first place in the Eastern Conference by 5.5 games. They lead the league in clutch wins at 21. So this is a team that knows how to stay in it in a really close game and pull it out. They have a player, Dennis Jenkins, I hope I got that right, who's a two-way player for them, who's worked himself into the rotation. They have to make a decision on him. I think as a two-way, you get 50 games. He's already played 47, so they have to make a decision on him as well. But he comes in, he gives them really good minutes, and they have a tough schedule coming up, actually. And so when you read up the storylines pertaining to them, this is an opportunity for them to test themselves even more. Let me see if I have who they're playing over the next.
They have Boston coming up too. I think that we kind of have a round robin.
Yeah.
Before the All-Star break.
They play Denver, then the Wizards, the Knicks, the Hornets, the Raptors, the Knicks again, the Bulls, the Spurs, OKC, and Cleveland, who's been trending of late. So I don't know, Ajay. You said that that 5.5 games ahead, that nobody will catch them. It depends on how they do this month. Like they got some really tough games this month, including 2 against our New York Knicks, who are playing much better.
I mean, of course, if we win against them, that's a huge difference right there. That's a 2-game jump right there. But so we got to control what we can control, and that's those 2 games. So
yeah, this is still a team where shooting is an issue. They don't really have a secondary scorer outside of Cade. I know Duren has been playing well for them. He's made the All-Star team, but who's their secondary scorer, right? So there's reports that they might be looking into Michael Porter Jr. from Brooklyn, just really trying to get some help for Cade Cunningham. And even though Duncan Robinson is there, shooting is still an issue. Most of their shots come in the paint. Let me just put this out again. Detroit, 12th in offensive rating, 10th in points per game, 25th in three-point attempts, 26th in three-point percentage. They do get to the line a lot. Third in the league. At least this is all over the last 10 games. Field goal attempt 16, percentage 7th. Again, most of their points are in the paint. You're closer to the rim. Field goal percentage usually comes up if you're hitting those shots in the rim. 14th in second points, 2nd in points in the paint, 6th in fast break points, 1st in points off turnovers. The Knicks are going to have to take care of the ball against this team. They get out and run, get easy baskets. Now, the Knicks don't turn the ball over a lot. Hopefully that continues, because if they do, this is a team that can capitalize off of it. But they're not a team that's going to be jacking threes, right? So the Knicks paint defense has to be strong. And I think that's a strength of ours anyway. Let me just see. And then you guys can comment if you need to. Opponent points in the paint over the last 10 games, the Knicks have been first. Now, they haven't been playing no juggernaut points. I mean, the Lakers were. The Lakers were. And they did a good job of keeping them, Luka and LeBron, out of the paint, having them settle for jumpers. But when you look at who the Knicks have played over the past 10 games, I mean,
Joel
Sacramento,
Embiid.
Joel Embiid as well. Joel Embiid as well. They've had some good, some good.
Toronto was the Smurfs. I'll agree with you there. There wasn't anybody there, but even Sacramento has DeMontis Sabonis. So, and he was healthy for that game. So we haven't played teams that don't have really good big men either. I think we've faced a few. So the key is going to be.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The key is going to be, can we keep Cade Cunningham from getting in the key and wreaking havoc? Because not only can he score and hit mid-range buckets by the with his eyes closed, but he's also such a great distributor of the ball and getting his guys wide open looks, and they cut very well and they do all sorts of things. So I think is what you said about the Denver game is not fouling. I think that's going to be a big key in the Detroit game, is not getting not allowing Cade to live at the free throw line and getting the bonus early and those sorts of things. So I think that's going to be a critical aspect of that game as well.
Yeah, and in terms of points in the paint, it's not just the big guys. To your point, Geoff, it's keeping those guards out the key as well. And so they will be tested with Detroit in that regard. I think with Denver, they'll be tested as far as the Joker, a big, and then Boston, Jaylen Brown, he's becoming the mid-range king, so they'll be tested as far as points, points in the paint. Ajay, anything you want to add about our matchup with Detroit? Look at them defensively. I mean, they like top 10 across the board.
And Boston's their twin. That's the crazy part. It's like we're playing
one after the other. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough 2 games, man.
Yeah. This
Listen,
is last 10 games, guys, not the season. Go ahead.
I mean, I listen. I look forward to these matchups because it gives you a good, it's a good gauge to know where your team is at, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, these other teams, we have to go through those teams to get to where we want to get, right? Which is the NBA Finals, and hopefully have a chance to win it all. You got to go through those 2 teams, especially right now. We hoovering second or third, which means if it goes by seeding, we're gonna have to go through Boston and we're gonna have to go to Detroit. Second round's gonna be Boston, and then Eastern, if we make it, past those. So it's a good gauge to you need to see where you're at. You got to play against good teams, against teams in your conference, like top teams in your conference, who, especially teams who you struggle against the things that they do best, right? We struggle against the thing. These guys, they force turnovers, they run, they gun, they athletic, they fight for rebounds. They play tough defense. They get away with a lot of nonsense, but nevertheless, they play tough defense. So you want to go up against those teams to know where you are. I look forward to this. I hope we can come out on top, but it's gonna be a tough couple of games.
And think about how the Knicks score 3-point shooting. They're third in opponent 3-point percentage. Yeah. Second chance point, they're 10th. In limiting second chance points. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to take that away from the Knicks or limit the Knicks, how the Knicks respond and find other ways to score the ball.
And Isaiah Stewart loves to play against the Knicks. He's convinced that that if he had been healthy, that they would have won that series last year. And he made sure and blow that horn rather loudly when they thumped us by 30 earlier this year. So this is a litmus test for them. That's their most important game of the week. I don't care who else they have. They're going to be up sky high for this game. They want to make a statement and show that they're still dominant regardless of who we have in the lineup. So it's going to be up to the Knicks to be able to respond.
Yeah. I mean, and they're capable. Look at the Knicks over the last 10 games. Second in defensive rating, first in opponent points per game, fourth in both opponent field goal percentage and impressively 3-point percentage, first in opponent's points in the paint, ninth in opponent fast break points, first in opponent second points, and 12th in opponent points off turnovers. Like the Knicks have, more so than just holding teams under 100 and different facets of the defensive game, you're able to see how they've improved, particularly opponent 3-point percentage. And I get it. Some of these teams that they've played haven't been, really great 3-point shooters, but you could say that for anybody else who's first or second or third in opponent 3-point percentage. I'm pretty sure baked into that are some teams that, just are not good 3-point shooting team. Given the Knicks' history of teams not being good 3-point shooting teams and coming in and becoming 3-point shooting teams, I'm encouraged.
Tobias Harris will go 7 of 10 from beyond the arc. The only 7 makes he has from beyond the arc all year. That's how that usually goes.
And it was somebody else, Champagne. Who else did we play at the Garden? And we just did not locate him at all, and he just went nuclear.
Well, Mamasvili last year when the Spurs beat us, Sandro, I think he was 10 for 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
So we have a reputation for it, but it's been better lately. Although I will say this, the Lakers did miss a ton of wide open threes in that game. But when you're dealing with guys who attack the paint like Luka and LeBron in tandem, you kind of have to give up something. Like no defense is going to be perfect. So Detroit really only has one of those guys in Cunningham, and Boston, they're just going to shoot threes because that's just what they do.
Yeah. Really looking forward to this Detroit game. They're going to be super physical with us. But again, I think if the Knicks move the ball, move their bodies, Brunson not get into one-on-one battle with Cade Cunningham, and kind of his process was really good the last game. If that continues, sometimes he might need to score, sometimes he'll need to pass. If his process remains good, the Knicks are going to be fine this week. Really looking forward to this matchup. You were going to say something, Ajay?
No, I was going to. Well, you know what? Let me say, when we play them, I need Cat to keep a cool head. Listen, Cat, you're a better player than Isaiah Stewart, man. Don't get in. Don't get in there with him. Make him look stupid. Don't let him make you look stupid. Just play smart. So it's and like lately, Cat's been playing smart. So hopefully, like you said, Queen, hopefully that continues. Hopefully they continue with the way they've been playing.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that. All right. Let's move on to Boston. Jaylen Brown, all-star starter, really has raised his level of play with Tatum out. Unexpected. They're in third place, but percentage points, they're tied for
That's the
second.
exact same record we do.
Exact same record that we do. Hugo Gonzalez, their rookie, I think he's a first-round pick, has been stepping up for them. Anthony Simons, who they got from Portland, excelling in his 6-man role, right? So there's questions
Portland
now.
lost a Drew Holiday trade with them twice.
Right. Whether or not they should trade him at the deadline or not, but he's playing so well, and they as a team are playing so well, they're very reluctant to make any changes. They're still looking for a center. Tatum may return later this season. That's the storylines around them. I do want to add something here. Derek White has been a bit inconsistent offensively, but listen, they've had multiple contributors this season. Jaylen Brown has stepped it up, of course, but they've had multiple contributors from unexpected places that's gotten them, where they are. We'll take a look at them statistically in a minute, but just your thoughts on how surprised you are with how well they've played this season, and just your thoughts on the matchup.
Well, the Boston Celtics are the cockroaches of the NBA. They don't die. It doesn't seem like they ever have a down year. They just always find a way to trade players right at the proper time, and the guys they bring in just fit their system. They're able to get guys like Jordan Walsh and Namias Queta and Hugo Gonzalez, who always step up and fill in roles perfectly, and Peyton Pritchard, all these kinds of players who are not maybe the best known, but come through, and they've needed that because Derek White, I think his inconsistency is stemming from the fact that he's not the third option anymore. He's the second option, and teams are able to pay more attention to him because you don't have Brown and Tatum and Kristaps and Holiday. You know what I mean? When you have all of those, he was facing one-on-one coverage most of the time. And in fact, with his ability to cut and move, he was getting wide open three-point looks most of the time. And when he's wide open from three, he's going to knock them down at a high volume. And so I think that may be the explanation for why White has been maybe a little bit more up and down. But I think the surprising thing about this team is that they've been able to play so well without any what you would call established big men. Like the guys that they have are playing well, but I think at the beginning of the year, even with Brown playing the way that he is, and he's been off the charts, superstar, all NBA levels of good, it's those guys and down low. And what Garza is another one who, they just do all the little things, and they shoot the ball well enough to move things along and play their roles in the offense, and just let their backcourt and Brown be the star of the show. So they're dangerous and they're impressive, and it's never easy to go into Boston and get a win.
Yeah, for sure. And talk about Detroit being up for the game versus the Knicks. Boston will be up for this game as well, even though it's an early game. They will be up, and they will they'll be ready. It's going to be interesting to see this matchup. Ajay, before we get to the stats, did you want to add something?
Yeah, don't forget Sam Hauser, man. Like, the guys, we have a problem defending the 3-point line, and then these guys all of a sudden will just have a wake up game where they can't miss from beyond the 3-point line. So we just got to keep in mind, man, just stay focused on defense on those guys. They have that guy. I know some fans flirted with that guy, Chris Boucher. But he hasn't been getting a lot of playing times with them. A lot of playing time. So I don't know, but but they do have a squad. They do have guys that could give us that could make it hard for us. Quaid has been playing well. He's been very active. So it's kind of I look forward to seeing him and Mitch battling down low. Hopefully Mitch play, for that game.
Good.
Going for rebounds.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at them statistically. Third in the Eastern Conference, tied with the Knicks. This is over the last 10 games. Second in offensive rating, 11th in defensive rating, third in net rating, 7th in rebounding percentage, 5th in defensive rebounding percentage, and Jaylen Brown is putting in a lot of work on as far as rebounding for them, because they just don't have centers. They don't have a lot of size. So he does what he can to chip in. I think he's had more than a few 10 double-figure rebound games for them this season. Defensively, 4th in defensive rating, 3rd in opponent points per game, 1st in opponent field goal percentage, 7th in opponent three-point percentage, 2nd in opponent points in the paint. Fast break points, second points, the Knicks might have opportunities there, and opponent points off turnovers, they limit them to 6. So this is another really good defensive team, and offensive as well. 3rd in offensive rating, 1st in field goal attempts. So they play fast. They get the ball, they get their shots off. Just 19th in field goal percentage, again, last 10 games. 13th in three-point percentage, 9th in free throw percentage, 6th in second chance points. So, and the Knicks are top 5 in defensive rebounding, I believe. So that's going to be interesting. What wins out, the Knicks defensive rebounding or their offensive rebounding and second chance points? Another good team statistically who's playing well over the last 10 games, as are the Knicks. This is what Geoff was talking about in terms of the Knicks offense. I don't think we've talked about it, at least statistically, tonight. Last 10 games, the Knicks offense is 16th. And this is the difference. Let me see if I have it here. This is one of the points that I wanted to make, that when you look at least offensively, the difference between the offensive rating of the rest of these teams over the season and over the last 10 games, not much difference in them at all. Of course, I can't find it. But it's not much difference with these teams in their offense in terms of where they ranked from the season over the last 10 games. But there is a big difference in the Knicks. The Knicks are ranked 3rd in offense over the course of the season and 16th over the last 10 games. So to me, I just feel like it's the Knicks really trying to find themselves. They're in flux as a team now, becoming more defensive minded. They still have the same offensive players. So I would think as the season goes on, the offense will come along and they'll get better at it. But right now, they're 16th in offensive rating over the last 10, 22nd in points per game over the last 10, 17th in field goal percentage, 15th in 3-point percentage, 27th in free. Oh, that might be, that has to be a mistake. Somebody check that for me. 27th in free throw percentage. I don't think that's right. Over the last 10 games. 10th in second points, 22nd points in the paint, 12th in fast break points, 14th in points off turnovers. Anything else on Boston? Any concern about the Knicks offense? Or do you feel, again, this is just them having to round into shape and find themselves again offensively?
I think it's interesting that both teams, Knicks and Celtics, aren't really good at fast break points and points in the paint. They're both on the low side of that. So it's all the 3 ball with those guys. But the thing about Boston, especially Boston, doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. You know, they don't have a lot of fast breaks, but I think that with their lack of size, they kind of have to crash the glass a whole lot. Like as a team, all 5 guys getting to the board so that they can make up for their, you know, not having a traditional rebounder who's just gonna, you know, a guy like Towns is gonna get 11 a night. Like I don't remember, you know, it's very rare that Cat doesn't have a double-digit rebound game, right? It's what happens. And Mitchell Robinson is the same way. He is able to get a lot of rebounds in a few minutes, and so they really have to stay committed to that. And maybe that's an opportunity if they have to commit more people to rebounding. Maybe that's an opportunity for us to get out and run if we're smart with the ball and can get rebounds and maybe get some easier buckets, because once that Boston defense gets set, they're awfully tough to score on. And I think that the previous slide shows that in spades. But again, Boston is good on both ends of the floor. Same with Detroit. These guys, these are 2 of the best teams in the NBA. And there are rivals with us for seeding at this point. And both of these games are on the road. So if we wind up with a 2-2 or a 1-3 week, it's not necessarily the sky is falling. This is a tough week, right? And our metal is going to get tested, and we'll find out more about where we stand. But where we stand now isn't necessarily the same place we're going to be standing come the end of the season either, because we saw that last year when Boston beat the snot out of us, and then in the playoffs, the Knicks sent them home. So you know, it's I think we need to keep perspective regardless of what happens. And oh, by the way, that's true if we go 4-0. We still need to keep it keep a perspective on it, that this is a small sample size and it's just, part of the grind and everything else. Obviously, I like to see us play better because we've got to stack wins with there's only 2 games separating second through 5th place in the East right now. So it's a every loss is magnified and every win is critical.
Geoff, we go 1-3. I don't know about the sky falling, but it's a little cloudy. it's a little cloudy if we go 1-3 this week. It is possible. It is possible. I'm not talking about the Knicks at their ceiling, but just the Knicks we've seen over the past 6 games, or if you want to 10 games. Do you think Denver, Detroit, and Boston, these are 50-50 games, or do you think the Knicks are underdogs in these games?
Oh, that's a good question. I think we're underdogs against Denver because of the short rest. I think that we're on the road. I think we're underdog in all 3 games, to be honest with you, even with as well as we've played, because the game that's at home, we're on short rest, and the other 2 games are on the road. And Detroit is 5.5 games ahead of us, and they beat us by 30 the last time we played. I think it's just false confidence to say that we should be like, there's nothing statistically that says, yes, we should absolutely be the favorite in that game, even with the way we've been playing of late. And, getting wins in the Boston Garden is always difficult. So, I would call us underdogs in all 3 games.
Okay. Ajay?
Denver to me is 50-50. Like, they're not, of course they got Jokic, but they're not the Denver like of old, like with the championship team. And I think they still getting it together over there. This is not, late March. They're not in late March form yet. So I think we could probably win. I mean, not could probably win, but we have 50-50 chance. I think we're underdog against the Detroit Pistons. They're just a matchup problem for us, man. They do, like, what we're not good at is where they good at. You know what I'm saying? So except for they're not a great 3-point shooting team, but the fact that we don't defend the 3-pointer, like Geoff said, all of a sudden, they're gonna be shooting well from 3 because we don't check them. So I feel like
we've been better though.
Yeah, no, we definitely have been, but I feel like in Boston probably another 50-50 game. So I mean, 1-3 is a possibility, but so is 3-1.
If the Knicks go, because kind of how I'm looking at this is the Knicks have gone through a rough patch, a few, maybe 1, 2, that long rough patch. They're rounding into shape. Coming into the season, the Knicks we were thinking the Knicks were right there with Denver, Detroit, and Boston, and maybe I thought we were better than Boston. So to me, are you looking at this as a team that's not good enough, that 2-9 team, or the Knicks are rounding, they're rounding into shape, they're hitting their ceiling? Because if the Knicks are that team, they should be right there with Denver, Detroit, and Boston, particularly with their defense trending up. Detroit, you're gonna have to be strong. You're gonna have to, keep Cade Cunningham out the paint. That's not easy. You're gonna have to get back in transition. You want every shot they take, you want it to be over the top of a set defense, right? They're not, if they're hitting their 3-pointers that day, that's a different story. But they're not really a good 3-point shooting team. So to me, if the Knicks are taking care of transition baskets, limiting them, allowing Detroit to shoot over the top, they have a really good shot at winning this game. Now, they're going to be really physical with the Knicks defensively. Can the Knicks match that physicality? Or are they going to be throwing the Knicks off their spots, and the Knicks throwing up air balls and chipping the rim because they're not matching that physicality? That's number one. If you don't match the physicality of Detroit, it's a wrap. You're just not going to get it. You're going to have to loosen them up by moving the ball and getting them shifting from side to side. So Brunson cannot be, and he hasn't been, on his one-on-one thing, because it's just easy for them to guard that, right? There's going to have to be player movement, ball movement, get that defense moving from side to side, loosen them up a little bit. If the Knicks are who we thought they were coming into the season, all three of those games, in my opinion, are 50-50 games. Two good teams going at it. Now, if the Knicks are not who we thought they were, then we'll know when they come out 1-3. If they come out 1-3, we'll know that they not that. So for me, this is an opportunity to see who are the Knicks really. Who are they really? This is it right now. You won 6 in a row. Who are you? Are you a contending team or not? We're going to find out this week. I don't know. Do you think I'm overstating it, like having that mindset, or this is just 3 games against 3 good opponents and not necessarily a measuring stick?
I don't know. I don't think that it's like dire straits. Like if you lose those games, like there's, you can just write everything off. I also, to be honest, we're not the team I thought we were going to be at the beginning of the season at all. I thought that, not from a record standpoint, I guess we're pretty close because we're about the same as we were last year. But I actually thought I thought that I think we're not playing as well overall. We're in a 6-game hot streak right now, but I don't know. I just get the sense that this team just something has felt off, and maybe it's fixed, but I need to see more before I'm ready to jump back in on it. And I think that it's a proving ground, yes, and it's going to be a tough gauntlet. But if they did happen to lose those 3 games, they can still, they'll still have further opportunity to improve their standing. And again, you're probably going to see those teams in the playoffs at some point. So you're gonna have an opportunity to get your hit back on them. So I would like to see us play really well. I think that would be a good sign. But I think there's context to the situation where it could be a struggle for us this week.
Why? Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. Ajay, thoughts?
I want to see us win.
I'm
not. No, but I'm not. I don't want to look at we're gonna have other opportunities. I want to go now and see where we stand now with those teams now, and see what can be tweaked. Right? Hey, you never know. Maybe that triggers a Yabu for somebody trade that come reinforce what we see we're lacking. But when is the trade deadline? Are we gonna miss it?
Thursday, right before the Detroit game.
See, that's terrible. But listen, we played them before. We played them before, so we know what we lack, and we had at this point, if they're gonna pull the trigger on something, they should know what it is. But no, Jeff, I want to see right now where we are right now with those teams right now. And,
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, so I don't want to look, like was it last season? Just last season, Detroit gave us a hard time all season long. And then come the playoffs, we eliminated them. I don't want another one of those situations. Same thing.
Would you prefer to beat them now and then lose them in the playoffs?
No, I want to beat them now. And
we beat them when it counted. That's all that matters, right?
No, I want to beat them every time.
Of course.
So.
Yeah. To me, the Knicks, Paris Duggar is saying, being very insulting. How can you be a basketball mind? People kill me with this. Just say you don't think they're a championship contender, but people kill me. They got to throw an insult. Like, if you don't believe what I believe, you just can't be a basketball mind. When the Knicks only have one top 20 player. How many top 20 players does Detroit have? And they're considered championship contenders. How many top 20 players does Boston have on their team?
One. Right now, Tatum's out, so it's one.
Right, and people are considering them championship contenders. You could go to the West as well. How many teams have two top 20? You can even say that about OKC.
For sure you can.
Some people may not consider Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren another top 20 player. So can we stop? Stop. You don't have to have two top 20 players to be considered a championship contending team. OKC won it last year with one top 20 player. One. You know,
Denver only has one. I mean, Jamal Murray's not a top 20 player. They have the Joker. The Spurs have one top 20 player. Do the Rockets have even that many? Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant, I guess. So they have one. So it looks to me like almost everybody who's a contender, except for the Lakers, right, with Luka and LeBron. But you know, we just beat them by a dozen points yesterday.
Right, exactly. Even a championship team, Paris Duggar, OKC won the championship with one top 20 player. You can argue that if Halliburton didn't get injured and they would have won, you can argue that they didn't even have a top 20. Some people may not see Halliburton as a top 20 player.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, just family. Just make your point. Like, make your point. I think the Knicks need to have two top 20 players for a chance. Just make your point without questioning other people's basketball minds because they disagree with you. That shit just gets under my skin. And I see it all the time on X. You don't know basketball. You don't know what you're talking about because the way I see it is the way it is. And so if you don't see it the way I see it, something's wrong with you. Like, relax, family. Relax.
Queen, I wouldn't even go that far. I'd agree with Paris. Paris, you're right. I don't have a basketball mind. I'm just a fan. That's it. If I had a basketball mind, I'd have been working for one of them teams in the league. Right now, I'm just a fan.
Right.
You know, chilling.
Right.
You know.
Right. Anyway. Yeah, that's just one of my pet peeves in this Knick Twitter community. If you couldn't tell. All right. Anything else?
Super chat.
That top 20 player was the top one. Okay. But
still only counts as one.
It's still one. Go down the list of who's considered that can win the championship this year. It was a bad point, Paris Dog. It's okay. All right? It's okay. We still appreciate you. You always rock with us.
Somebody, shout out David Smith said, Dallas Mavericks, let me put this up there. He said the Mavericks had, where is it?
I think it's this one. Is this the one?
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, they beat Miami with the big three. So they, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Dallas had one top 20 player, right? Miami had three.
Right.
And the one beat the three.
Yeah. You got to have a good team. And what I like about the Knicks is, you know, Brunson is number one, but the drop off 2, 3, and 4. I mean, you can argue if they're playing up to their ceiling, the Knicks are right there. That's the issue. Them playing up to their ceiling.
Oh, Queen, I got a good one. I love these fans. The stuff they say, right?
Tibbs cost us the chip last season. We could have won the East, and anything could have happened.
But wait. But put it backwards though. We could have won the East. Anything could have happened, but not Tibbs could have cost it, or maybe he cost. But he's confirmed. Be with us could have confirmed that Tibbs cost us a chip.
Yeah.
And the reason could have, might have, may have, but the end result, he did cost us a chip.
Yeah. He was definitely a part of it, but he wasn't the one turning the ball over and not getting back against against Indiana. Every turnover was 2 points.
Or three. There were a bunch of them that were 3.
So he definitely was a part of it with the lineups and the schemes, but the Knicks had ample wide open shots that they missed that could have changed things for us as well. And Thibodeau's not here anymore. So, all right, let's get to the David Smith. Everybody but Cat cost us the championship last year. All right, let's get to the chat. Oh, we talked about Kim Doc. Talk about we were all cozied up. It's only 68 degrees here and may go all the way down to 50 tonight. Listen, I'm not. I no sympathy here, Wiz, from LA. I'm going to the Lakers Sixers game Thursday.
That 50 degrees might trigger.
Bring the Lakers home a win, Wiz.
It might trigger a state of emergency over there with that 50 degrees.
Sherwin, good evening. What slump is Bridges in? He said, if a teammate has a better shot, pass the ball. Cat has not been taking the logo shots the past few games. Keep it up, Cat. Definitely keep it up, Cat. I mean, I would like him to take more threes. It doesn't have to be logo threes. But listen, sometimes you have to take it to him. You can't always slide the ball to the next player, depending on who that player is. I mean, sometimes you just gotta look and be like, nah, I think I'm gonna take this. All right.
And that's why you like the way OG's playing, right? Because he mixes it up. Like sometimes he shoots a 3, and if he sees the lane, he runs. He goes for it. I mean, he may slip and fall and lose the ball off his leg.
OG for the last 6 games. OG the 11 games previous to that, not so much.
So,
yeah.
And that's the problem. No consistency from Wingstop.
Yeah. Nick Yak, we're 3rd in scoring and 3rd in opponent points. Yep. All right. Docosaurus Rex, Knicks only look like contenders when they play kids, whether we like it or not, or whether it fits our script of what a contender is supposed to look like or not. Would have lost to LeBron without Kolick. Docosaurus has become David Smith light. Kolick has definitely played well for us. I'm not taking that away from him. But to say we're only contenders when the young guys play, that's a stretch for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I don't believe that. They contribute at times, but they're not consistently positive. And we've had games where they haven't played that much, where we've looked pretty good. So, in fact, Kolick was receiving DNPs in I think 4 of the 6 games we won on this win streak. So, I mean, we can highlight the games where he's played well, and kudos to him. And I think he's done a good job staying ready. But he's not the engine and reason that we won. In fact, our rotation has shortened since the Mavs game to really 8 men, and so we've been mostly just playing vets.
Yeah. So the point is, we've been good when we've played the young guys, and we've been good without them, right? And that's not to take anything away from what they've contributed when they have played. And if you're gonna just give them credit for when they play well, when they play and we lose, they got to take some of that blame as well. Okay, Dr. Service Rex again. Jalen Duren is way better this year. Let's not trifle with him like he didn't hold his own. And then some in the playoffs. He ain't why they lost. I'm not sure what that's comment is about. I think he is a really good player. He's having an all-star season. But if he's your second best player, in my opinion, that's not a championship contending. I shouldn't say championship contending, but I think it's going to be hard to actually win a championship and hold that trophy if Duren is your second best player. I think next to Cade, he needs a secondary scorer, not somebody who
can handle the ball and create their own shot, not just somebody who's going to score on lobs and dunks and has to be set up to score.
Right. And I'm not taking anything away from Duren. Listen, Jerrell will tell you, when we were at the draft show, shout out to Sim and MBK, shit, we wanted Duren. Like he was the guy I wanted on the Knicks. And it's good to see him rounding into shape like we thought he would. But if he's your second best player, no. Yeah. Okay. What's that? Cantame Music. Cantame Music. Hope I said it right. The Knicks will win the East. From your lips to God's ears. Appreciate you. Shout out to Shop House.
Hey, Shaw. What's up, guy?
Rocking with us. I appreciate you and Divine. Be sure to check out that show, Knicks Real Talk. Magellan. Cat didn't play to his potential this year, but still an all-star. He needs to wake up and play like Jokic.
Nobody plays like Jokic. That's a little bit unfair, in my opinion. That's like saying, wake up and play like Wilt, or wake up and play, let Cat be
but
Cat.
Wake up and play to your potential.
And the fact that he made it, I mean, that I was surprised that he made the All-Star team, and he made it with the coaches elected him, which to me is more valuable than just a fan voting for you, because you're talking about basketball minds, people who know the game, people who read your scouting report, right? They go against you night in, night out, and they're like, "Nah, this guy's an all-star." So that's huge, and he's gonna break out of it, man. Cat's gonna break out of that, whatever's going on with his scoring.
Yeah,
on February 7th. Once he knows he's here for the rest of the year, he's going to take off. He's going to be averaging 30 a game, and David Smith is going to be sending in $200 super chats.
You know what, Geoff? Maybe
I told you so.
He's saving it all for the latter part of the season, which is when it's critical.
All right. Shout out to Undios NYK. It's been a minute. It's good to see you in the chat. Hope all is well with you and yours. Okay. Speaking of David Smith, Cat was All-NBA and All-Star starter last year and helped get the Knicks to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Only 2 wins away from the NBA Finals, but let's all forget that. Nobody's forgetting that. I thought he played well in the playoffs for us. I'm not down on Cat at all. I'm more down on the offense, on the offense and how they're using him than I'm down on Cat. But he has to be better. And
what if he's I had this thought today. I wanted to run it by you. What if he's sacrificing his own shots and points to try and get OG and McCall and these other guys going? What if he's saying, I don't have to score 25. I'm capable of it. And the reason I asked that, because yes, his percentages are down, but his effort is not absent. He plays hard every single night. And so I kind of came up, the thought creeped in, well, maybe he's sacrificing his touches and saying, I don't need to score as much. I just want to win. And if you hear him in post-game interviews, that's what he says all the time. Whatever's best for the team. Even on the couple times when he hasn't played down the stretch in the fourth quarter, he doesn't fuss about it. He's just like, I just want to win. And so I'm curious if you think that maybe part of his offensive doldrums, or whatever you want to call it, is just him saying, I don't need to be a 25 point per game scorer if it means that we're going to win games.
I don't think it's him. I think it's Mike Brown. Exactly what you're saying. I think it's Mike Brown saying, we don't need you to be a 25 point per game scorer. We're going to be a better team if you take less shots. And OG and Mikal Bridges gets more shots. He might be saying the same thing to Brunson too, who's not listening. But yeah, I don't think it's a cat decision. I think it's a scheme coach decision. But effectively the same results. Any thoughts, Ajay?
I don't see it that way. It's not like they say, hey, don't kill yourself now. Save it all for the postseason. He's just going through a tough stretch. That's all. Every player, it happens to the best of them. So he'll just break out of it. He's just, he's having a tough season so far. But, hopefully he'll pick up, he'll go back to the good old cat that he's been his entire career in the second half of the season after the All-Star break. I don't think they purposely holding him back, or he purposely holding himself back, because you want reps, right? You want reps. You want to be in the groove or in rhythm when you get to the playoffs. So he's trying to get there. He'll get there. We need him to get there. So I'm pretty sure that's going to work out.
I hope you're right, because it would be one thing if he was getting the same amount of touches and he just wasn't as efficient. He's not even getting that. So which makes me think that's it's a scheme thing, or to just play a different way. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Huck Porty is better than you think. Likewise, Kevin Mack. Okay. All right. Ooh. What is that? Jail Kebulin? I know I butchered that, but we appreciate you being here.
It's clean. I mean, YouTube's trying to help you out, man. Just say 3468. YouTube's giving you another option, man. Just say, man, shout out to 3468.
3468. Trade McBride, wow, and Yabusele for Ayo DeSumo. Give Ayo McBride minutes, and we're a much better team.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of McBride, man.
Yeah,
Ayo DeSumo's a good player, though.
Can we get some small forwards?
Or some big forwards.
Power.
We have plenty of small forwards. We need big forwards.
I've been crying for power forwards all season.
All right. I think we are. All right. All right. Paris Duggar, I want to get rid of everyone under 6'2" except for Brunson. Increasing our height on the roster will make us better. They have to be skilled, though. It can't just be taller, right? You got to be taller and skilled.
How
right?
many
I've seen a lot of
two guys do we have besides Brunson?
He just want to get rid of Deuce.
Oh, Deuce is the only one under 6.
No.
Shorter
Deuce
than
is 6'2". Clarkson's 6'3". Kolick is 6'3". I was surprised at that, but so who are we talking about? I mean, maybe he's just saying he wants to get rid of Clarkson and Kolick and Deuce, which is fine. I don't agree with that, but necessarily. I mean, it depends what you're getting back, but I don't want to just kick him out the door just to clear the air and clean the space.
So you want to keep Yabusele?
No.
No, I'm just asking to whoever posted that, whoever made the comment.
Nick starter Yabusele, right? Right, Ajay?
Yeah, Nick starter Yabusele.
Right. At 96 till, I'm not really moved by the Pistons. They rely so much on Cade, and he's not exactly the most efficient player. Yeah, I mean, listen, we've seen this before. Be wary of the playoffs is a totally different different story, and Detroit knows that. So they're looking for more scoring. They're looking for more shooting because they're also looking ahead to the playoffs. And Cade being the only one handling the ball and not having a secondary scorer, so they get it. You know, they get it as well. That's going to be an issue for them in the playoffs. You know, but for right now, you know, they're rolling. Okay. All right. Oh, Latrell Sprewell, the American.
The
I'm
American
going to
dream.
see Leon Rose tomorrow. What should I tell him? Woo.
From you mean from us? A message from us?
Yeah, yeah.
He watched the show. We don't have to tell him nothing. He know what we think.
I would, oh man, I would tell him that whatever changes you're going to make at the trade deadline, make it based on that and what you've seen over the entire Knicks season and the landscape of the Knicks. Don't make it based on, oh, we won 6 in a row, let's just stand pat. Oh, we were 2 for 9. Oh, let's trade everybody. Like, be level-headed, take the entire Knicks season into consideration. You know, look at the landscape of the NBA and ask yourself, do we match up? And if you don't feel we do, make a trade that's going to make us better. If you want to do something around the edges, can you get us a 6'5" guard that can handle the ball and play point of attack defense? I don't know who that player is. But if you can find one for me, I would be happy with that.
A 6'9", 6'10" power forward.
And Ajay would like a 6'9",
Thank
6'10" power forward. Jeff?
Who can
I feel
set
like we're
pick?
visiting Santa Claus here.
We put that out wishes. And if you throw a backup big in there for insurance for Carl Anthony's foul trouble, and if Mitch gets hurt, I would love that as well.
Old Head has a pretty good idea, I think.
What did he say?
He said, tell Leon to trade Yabusele and Clarkson for Sadiq Bey.
I like Sadiq Bey.
But the money, that'd be too much though. Oh wait, no, it would match. Because yeah, it would match. But why not? They talked about Yabusele and Pacom Dadi. Yeah, that for Sadiq Bey. That would be good. I think we could squeeze a little more juice out of Jordan Clarkson when when you're desperate for a 3-point or something.
Yeah. Well, we will be here Thursday after the trade deadline to talk about what the Knicks do or don't do, but also if there's other trades in the Eastern Conference that could impact the Knicks as well. Knicks Nation, Cat had a 10-year run at who he is, but if we make OG a legit all-star, which is a 20-point scorer consistently, then we will be hard to beat in the playoffs. We look really good the last 2 games with OG leading. Me and Geoff was talking about this earlier. Is this OG tends to have these stretches, and the question is this just another one of those stretches, or has he turned the corner? I've seen so many of them. To me, it's just a stretch. It's just a stretch for me. I know Nick Nation was on earlier, and he felt like OG is a legit 2-way player, and the only break we saw this season was because he got injured and he needed to round back into shape. That's why he didn't play well during those times. But for me, I just believe this is a good stretch. OG is who he is as well. I think he's gotten better offensively. I don't know if he's somebody you can count on to be a 20-point scorer. Count on. And that means that defenses know that they're keying on you and you can still produce 20 points. First of all, he has to stop sliding, right? You can't be falling down all the time when there's a little bit of pressure or a bump or something.
Yeah. In the off season, they got to find the right shoes for him, man.
I don't think he's.
Clyde's got some Pumas. I bet he can wear.
Yeah, he goes strong to the basket. I don't think he's falling because people are bumping him. Sometimes it just seems like he just falls.
So does Towns.
Most of the times.
And Mitch, we always said that about too.
Yeah,
So
he's gotten better with that. Break forever, keep feeding OG the ball. Yeah, yeah. Okay. DJ Space goes, I don't see the Knicks making any moves for the trade deadline. It would be a hard sell to Dolan. So
I'll agree with him on this point. If the Giannis thing gets postponed till the summer, which it sounds like it will, based on the most recent reporting, I think that you won't see us do anything major with that core group of rotation players. But if you're going to tell me that they wouldn't be open to moving a Clarkson or a Yabusele in a minor move to just change the makeup of the bench, I would be surprised if they at least didn't explore that option. Now, it may be that nobody wants those two players and you just kind of have to bite the bullet, which stinks in the case of Yabusele because he's got a team option for his second year. But, I think that they'll explore options. And I think, Paycom Daddier is probably a potential guy to leave also to maybe get, to sweeten the pot or get somebody else in here. I don't think it's guaranteed that we're going to make a deal, but I think the Knicks will at least be active on the phone, seeing what they can get, potentially for these players without affecting their opportunity to go deep sea fishing in the off season.
Was it Fred Katz who reported that they offered Yabusele to Phoenix for Nick Richards and they said no? Partly because Yabusele has an extra year on a contract, and I think Nick Richards might be on an expiring. If I'm not,
I think that sounds right. I remember reading that. Your guess on the source is as good as mine, but
yeah, I think it was Fred Katz. I'm not sure. You're right, Sherman. Why do you guys think other teams want our scrubs? Yeah. Any last words on this week slate of games?
No, but real quick, you want to touch on the Paul George suspension real quick?
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I heard that it might have been for mental health medication. I don't know much about it. I will say this: it's not for an antidepressant because, from what I understand, that's not on the banned substance list. So if it's for mental health medication, maybe it's a psychostimulant used for ADHD, maybe benzodiazepines used for anxiety, but it wouldn't be like mood stabilizers for bipolar disorder or antidepressants. So I don't really know much about the particulars. I think even though he hasn't been himself, I still think that's a little hit to Philadelphia.
If they can survive, he gets 25 games to rest, though, and then he'd be back fresh for the playoffs, I guess, if they get there. So you can look at it from that point of view, too. Like the problem with him is wear and tear on his body. If he gets to, it could turn out to be a blessing in disguise where he, if Philly, let's say Philly gets to the 6th seed and he's able to just work out and get stronger and not have to worry about that wear and tear. And then he's available and in a better, with more spring in his step come playoff time, that could be a definite boon for them.
Geoff, stop it, Geoff. Because by then Joel Embiid will be hurt. All right, so relax. It's not gonna make a difference.
Maybe not.
Geoff is looking like a fortune teller now. Remember that show on Nick of Time? He got the business when he was talking about if Philly is healthy, like they could really be. Woo! He got the business. Now look.
Anybody from Philly went? I know we wanted Andre Drummond. Because now that
Why
they
are
don't
they
have,
really going to trade Andre Drummond to the Knicks? I don't see any reason why they're going to.
that's not happening. But maybe they want Yabusele back. I'm
Doubt it.
just throwing it out there.
Listen, I doubt it.
They
Jeff, can the Knicks be active on the buyout market, or do you have
Okay, so that's a good
expectation?
question.
Yeah.
So yes and no. They can't get anybody who makes more than the taxpayer MLE. So if you have a big salary guy who gets bought out, the Knicks would not be eligible to sign them. Depending on roster spots, that I don't think we can just and how much they agree to. It's possible that we can bring someone in on the buyout market, but buyout market guys are generally not impactful. Like they're usually bought out for a reason. So I'm not sure that yes, we could. I think the only name that's kind of would be interesting to me, and I don't even know if he qualifies because I don't know what his contract situation was, is maybe CP3. But I don't know if he I don't know what he was making before Houston. I think was it Houston who got rid of him or so sent him home? I think it was. No, it was the Clippers, maybe. I don't know, one of the two, whoever it was. But yeah, it's possible depending on the player and depending on who the Knicks decide to keep and not keep. But with our two-way players, and because the margins are really still slim, so it's a tricky business. But I guess it's a definite maybe to answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do your due diligence. Sometimes a player drop to the market. You're like, whoa, I never, wow, I didn't think this would ever happen. And teams have different needs. I mean, you're not looking for somebody who's going to come in and play 40 minutes, 35 minutes, 28 minutes. Maybe you're just looking for somebody that can come in and just be super situational as well. We'll see. Okay. Any last words?
Great job on the slides. I thought that I love that you always have them, but I just wanted to shout out that aspect of the show. They're really helpful to see. They paint a great picture of what we have coming up and what we're facing, and so I appreciate all the hard work that goes into that, because I know those things don't make themselves. So thank you for that and the opportunity to visit and about this, and I guess we'll have a show on Wednesday at 11:30 for lunchtime live, and then
11:30
Thursday about the same time, and then the post trade deadline edition of the weekly show. So a lot of content for you guys coming up over the next few days. So
yeah, and Thursday is a double dip because we play Wednesday too, so we'll have two shows on Thursday. Yeah, Ajay, I appreciate you. Jeff, I appreciate you.
Can I answer something real quick here?
Oh, sure.
See this from, and you could probably chime in on that, Queen, because I know that's kind of part of your profession. Sherwin, I think it's because people a certain age, or back then, they didn't think ADHD was something like, it's like, yeah, this kid's distracted or whatever. So they didn't think of it as a, I don't want to say a disease, but as something that could be fixed. It's just they think that the person just have to concentrate. So most people a certain age, probably most of us have a little bit of ADHD in us from back in the days. We just don't think of it as a mental health thing. But nowadays they think of it that way because it I don't know.
Yeah. So I will say I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner for those who don't know, and I do prescribe psychostimulants for clients with ADHD. ADHD medication, unlike any other psychiatric medication, is matched to your lifestyle. So if you have ADHD and say, for example, you're a teacher, you might not need to take it in the summertime when you're on vacation. There are some people with ADHD that only need to take it for work or only need to take it for school. I've had people who are in rote jobs that they can just do with their eyes closed. And even though they have ADHD, they don't need medication. And then they get a 9 to 5 and they're a manager and now they need ADHD medication, right? It's always matched to your lifestyle. And so some people, depending on what you have to focus and do, you don't need medication. And then your life changes. And then next thing you know, you need, like, there's a tipping point also. Like when I'm doing these evaluations, people say, yeah, I struggled a little bit in elementary school. I struggled a little bit in high school, but I did okay. But college was the tipping point where everything just came falling down, and I was procrastinating. I couldn't pay attention. So again, some people with ADHD can get away with it, but there are some people that can't. So you don't know why, because you're different. Everybody is different than you. You don't need it. Other people do. I have some clients who need it as soon as they wake up in the morning to help them organize and get out the door. Then they need it at work. Then if they're taking a class, they need it. Then when they get home, they need it to help them prepare, for the next day. They need like 24-hour coverage. Now, if some clients say, I just need it for work, 9 to 5. I'm good on the weekends. I'm good in the evenings. I can get out the door. Okay. So everybody is different, right? Everybody is different. All right. That's the public service announcement. Ajay is we on our way out the door, and he wants to bring up.
No, that was Sherwin brought it up.
All right. Ajay, I appreciate you. Geoff, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I actually love this show. It's just so labor intensive. So some Mondays I just don't have it in me, because you can't do the stat slide until Monday morning when all of the games are over. Like, you can't do it ahead of time. So sometimes I just don't have it. But I love this show because it allows us to know what's going on with the other teams statistically and from a storyline perspective. So I'll try to be more. I'll try to be more consistent. But the chat, I appreciate you guys. The replay gang, you already know. And the silent listeners, I appreciate you guys as well. Until next time, peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at?